I mean, like, there is a point where probably upwards towards a billion plus where it becomes an issue. But like having a few $1,000,000, tens of millions of dollars, in my opinion, there's nothing wrong with making that much money. Nothing inherently wrong with socialist principles either.
So here's where you and I differ, I think. So first of all, I believe that it's functionally impossible to generate like a certain level of income, probably in like the tens of millions, without hiring people and then profiting off of their labor. It's just a simple Marxian term, profit being theft. The difference between you and I think, is that you are a capitalist. I am not. Sure. So when you hire people, you extract their surplus labor value in the form of a profit.
Yeah.
And then you use that profit for whatever. You can pocket it if you want. You can use it back and reinvest it back into your business if you want. And someone on the left, someone who is anti-capitalist, would say, I believe that there should be a more democratic process in the way that that profit is distributed. So, for example, I have 2 editors on my YouTube channel, and it's not a full-blown cooperative corporation because I'm still the main like service provider. It's not like we're fucking making pomegranate juice or something, or we're not doing commodity production, right? But they dictate what they do. They dictate their own hours. They dictate what kind of content that they want to make. They guide the direction in its entirety. They guide the direction of the channel in its entirety. So the thing that I'm designing currently, up until recently, I was just like paying them a flat fee that they asked, and that I would just increase whenever revenue increased, because I was like, you're not asking, like, so I'm just going to give you more money because the channel's making more money. But now it's gotten to a point where like the channel makes a decent amount of money. So I'm just going to give them the flat fee plus half the revenue overall of the entire channel. And not only that, but then also
don't get any ideas over there, Dan.
Not only that,
fucking revolution back here.
Not only that, but we will figure out how to contract out like other editors if we need to, and expand if we want to.
Why not give them a cut of your main source of income? Why?
Because they don't touch the main source of income in any meaningful capacity. The main source of income in the form of like the Twitch stream is just me. You know what I mean? They're just working on what I'm creating on Twitch and then adding value to that.
At what point can you hire someone to help you on your main channel without having to pay them an enormous amount of money that like you've built this thing by yourself from the ground up? So how can you ethically hire somebody to work for you, either researching or let's say researching, preparing stories like we have, how would you pay that?
I think a distribution of profit there, considering like how unique what we do is, because like you're the content, you are providing the service, right? It's not like you're a factory owner and you don't really do anything. You're not on the fucking assembly line if you're a factory owner. But when you're the content creator yourself, you're the one who probably edited the videos up until a certain point, and now you have editors, right? So, but you're still the one who's like directing the content, and you're still the one that's being filmed. So it presents a unique problem, really, from at least a Marxist point of view. Something that I think about all the time, something that I was thinking about even before I became this successful, and I never thought I would, is like, how do I ethically contract out people or hire people? So, one thing I do is basically just ask them, like, how much do you want to get paid? Like, what do you want?
In my experience, when you ask people how much you want to get paid, especially in this realm, what they'll tell you is, it's fine. Like they lowball. I think they're used to getting fucked.
Yeah.
So like when I ask people generally what do you want to get paid? What's your price? And I always pay them what they ask. And then sometimes more, you offer more because you're like, that's stupid. I'll pay you more. Like, yeah. But in general, if you ask what do you want to get paid, people are going to ask, way less than.
No, literally. So
work is work.
So I add on to it.
Yeah. But still, it's like, so if you hired someone to work with you on your stream, you would not pay them a percentage.
No, I would pay them a percentage. I don't know what like the adequate distribution would be, and I have no idea. And also part of that is like, this is a double problem for me. It's a problem because I think about the ethics of hiring someone like that, like as a full-time employee, and like how to offer them adequate pay for the amount of value that they're providing for me, right? Because that's what labor is. Labor creates value. There is no value without labor. But in my situation, there is value without labor because I'm the labor, right? Do you see what I'm saying? Because we're not like, if you were making this chair or if you were making this desk and you owned a factory that made these desks, right? You would not be able to make the desk on your own. You would have to hire someone to make the desk. But in my situation, even without anyone else, I can still keep it going, right? Because I have a community and all that, and that's it's like back and forth conversations and whatnot.
It seems maybe you're overcomplicating things in that it might make you more hesitant to hire somebody.
Oh, for sure, it definitely has.
Which to me seems inherent issue with this philosophy, because at the same time you could easily pay someone the market value for a job of researching. You could even double it. And you're going to end up hiring someone with a fantastic salary that's probably still a very small fraction of your overall income, but like double the market wage, let's say triple even, still a small fraction of your income. There's people that need jobs who want this job, who are going to be happy, sustained, getting what they need financially. And that to me seems like there's no problem past that. And actually, there is a problem in thinking and complicating things the way you do, is because you don't get the help you need, and this person doesn't get a job.
So that leads me to the second problem there, which is that I don't want to manage. I'm not a good manager. I'm not a good business owner, and I don't want to do that. I worked at the Young Turks. I saw how that operated. 26 employees. It grew. There was like, they raised money and all this stuff. And I saw the complications that came about, right? And I don't want that. I don't ever want to do that.
I'm just talking about like one person to help put stories for you together.
No,
not putting together like a corporate empire.
No, I totally understand that. So that's why I don't focus on permanent growth like most people do. I think that's like baked into our understanding of the world. Like that's baked into your success. Everyone does this. I care more about, I obviously care about like revenue streams, clearly, because money is freedom, ultimately. But I care more about sustainability. I care more about just having fun and having, being free of editorial control, being free of like any sort of scrutiny or fear that I might get fucking canceled or whatever. Like that's what I care about more than anything else. So I'm perfectly happy doing exactly what I've been doing and continuing to do that. And if it grows, it grows. Like a person that I actually think has an incredible business model that I really, despite like our disagreements, that I really, I guess, think is great. His business model, at least, is PewDiePie. Like I think that the way that he has been able to...
He has a very light touch. He works with like 2 editors. That's it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I love that. I want that. That's precisely...
And he's also a workhorse, so like,
yeah.
But that's what
I am too.
I think you guys have that in common. But I was shocked when I found out you didn't have anyone to help you, because it can help consider. It can just be a huge help. It's a win-win. That's the thing. It's like there are times when capitalism. I personally think capitalism is a great system. I am a capitalist, and like the situation I described is a win-win. Everybody's happy, right? But here's the thing.
Well, not necessarily. I think
in the situation I described,
in your situation they are, because
there's a lot of times where capitalism does exploit labor, For sure. And like you look at like Walmart and Amazon and the companies like that where they're like publicly traded and they're serving, you know, the interests of their board and et cetera. Then what they do is they squeeze motherfuckers as tight as possible without popping them, right?
Yeah.
But in the case of you being a capitalist business owner and hiring someone, paying them a good wage, that's a win-win. But my philosophy on capitalism is that I would say in general, it's a fantastic system, but I also have like a big asterisk next to it in which I do believe in big government. I do believe in social programs. Like there are some verticals of business that should not be privately owned, like jails, like healthcare, medicine in general, you know, stuff like that. It should not be, it's just too important to the public welfare to be run by private businesses.
Yeah.
And also I believe that on the top end and on the bottom end, there needs to be regulations and control and and rubber bands to keep capitalism on the rails, because it will ultimately undermine itself. It'll undermine itself.
Yeah. And that's what we have in America is a system since the Reagan era, the neoliberal reforms during the Reagan era that have like completely dismantled any sort of antitrust laws that we have, that have created all of these oligopolies that engage in price leadership, not price fixing, but that has created this like awful system in which like your utility providers suck, your ISPs suck, and there's no way to like combat that. They'll get billions of dollars from the government and then refuse to fucking actually implement fiber. You know what I mean? They'll get billions of dollars to like improve the speeds, and then they just like don't use it, you know? And there's nothing. There's no way to retaliate against that.
What I did have a specific question for you.
I would say that you're a social democrat. And the difference between me and yourself, if that's what your question was going to be, is that I am a democratic socialist. So I believe that like ultimately a better future is possible, and that revolves around initially getting to a social democratic America like Norway. Okay, turn America into Norway tomorrow. Great. But that system itself still heavily relies on exploitation of the third world. That system itself still heavily relies on imperialism and in order for it to continue. And so much bloodshed that is overseas that we don't even see, so we don't even think about it or comprehend it. And I think that in order to solve that, in order to especially combat like the upcoming mass migration that is going to occur as a consequence of the climate crisis that we're facing, for example, we need to uplift the working class all around the planet and not just necessarily try to, through a series of like patchwork social welfare programs, help out you know, our country here and there, because there is no